Wait, what letters did you say, Jamie?
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
TTFN,
Oh,
for now. Did you not
thought-
watch Winnie the Pooh as a child?
Actually, no, I didn't. I watched Pokemon.
You're so young, it disgusts me.
I knew American Gladiators, so I mean,
Yeah, but I think so. Was Gladiators originally from overseas?
It was originally American Gladiators, and the format was obviously sold globally, when it was just Gladiators.
Yeah.
Okay.
here it was American
Yeah, I got that
Gladiators.
reference too. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean, Atlas Spheres was kind of a part of all of them. It was like the signature. It was like the
I'm trying to
signature ring. So
I'm trying to remember that one game that they had where it was like the rugby or football game. I can't remember what it was called.
Powerball.
Yeah, that one.
Powerball.
It's what we do with new people who want to join the Sonic show. It's how we decide who gets to be on the staff.
It's that's what happened with my introduction to the Sonic show, and that's why half of the old staff then promptly disappeared because they ended up dunked in baskets, and it was very unfortunate.
They're all dead.
Sonic 2 Gladiators.
Yeah. That's where if you're wondering where Tom and Jono are, they're actually having a game of slingshot at the moment.
So, animal cruelty. I'm guessing it's not because I'm guessing that it's not animal cruelty in a traditional circus sense because they seem to be self-conscious enough to be, because they've got the Boom has this weird thing where you have the animal characters and then animals.
Yeah, it's like there is like a sort of subspecies of animals that are just general animals.
So as long as they are able to shrug their shoulders and look indifferent, then it's not cruelty.
So I mean, other things in the episode, it's just Eggman having some chill time.
That's nice.
Yep.
That was
I
nice.
was a bit upset that he wasn't in his pajamas.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're chilling out, you have to chill in your pajamas.
Yeah.
I mean, that is how one chills.
That's the thing. He was chilling out. There was no Eggman food in this episode.
There was no Eggman food in this episode.
There's no bowl of
Okay, so we
nachos
might
or
have to
something.
take a point off your total.
Yeah.
Because no evil food. There was no evil snack. Evil nachos. Those have been nice in this episode.
Oh, now I really want some nachos. Thanks,
Evil
Kevin.
nachos. Okay.
Some
Well,
Jeez.
you can get some evil Mountain Dew with them as well. Then there we go. Which
Are
I'm
you
pretty certain
implying
is
that
just Mountain
regular Mountain Dew is
yeah, I'm pretty certain it's just Mountain Dew. Oh, or it's that energy Mountain Dew stuff. Okay, anyway. I mean, there's a couple of other little bits that which we'll repeat. I'll say for Jamie's benefit because I'm not sure you might have heard it the first time around. Was that when the remote was destroyed the second time, Eggman was really upset because he was missing dancing with robots or dancing with the robots or something.
Yeah.
Which is obviously Dancing with the Stars for those who don't live in America, aka Strictly Come Dancing, as it is in the UK with the original format.
Is that what it's actually called there?
Well, it's actually a very old program that was very popular in the 70s, 80s, and
just called Come
early
Dancing.
90s, called Come Dancing, and it was actually a proper dancing competition that was very big in terms of ratings, and it was done very straight laced, and then it became it went away and then came back in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
or
With
early
celebrities.
mid-2000s with celebrities, and then it was known as Strictly Come
Strictly
Dancing.
Come Dancing.
Became very successful on the BBC, and then they resold the format to America and other places where in America it
much
became
more
Dancing with the
obvious title.
Stars, and yeah, which is why on Dancing with the Stars you have two of the British judges on there.
Very interesting. Now I know, and you do too.
Yes. The
No,
more
it's half
you know,
battle.
the more you want to switch off. So yeah, I mean, so that was one of the things of that episode. It almost needed more time, that episode, I thought.
Yeah, I think that could have helped it a bit.
I think the whole thing with sort of Tails, Tails' apparent need for redemption was just too fast. It needed Tails just sort of went off in the sort of semi-sulk, going, "I need to prove myself," and all proving himself was really just fixing a thing and then coming back. I didn't think it was a very Tails thing to just sort of up and leave and not.
It's difficult because you've got, with 11 minutes, if you overcomplicate the plot, then you just rush through it and then it doesn't mean anything. But then you can go the opposite way in an episode like Guilt Tripping, where this plot is so simple that it feels like nothing happens in 11 minutes. So it's like the last week's episode, I think, was a simple plot which gave time for actual character development but wasn't too boring. I think this one was a bit like, so much stuff's going on, Tails is feeling, guilty, and then a circus returns and everyone joins the circus and then they all get trapped and then Tails comes to save the day and then, oh my god, it's so much.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually one of the occasions, and we've made note of this before in the commentaries and post show and stuff, where the actual broadcast order has benefited the episode. I mean, previously we've mentioned with the 2 Sticks episodes, the back-to-back Sticks episodes, where their placement really hindered the second episode because it wanted you to sort of do a complete 180 on this character's take from the 10 minutes ago. What this character thought is now the complete opposite, and you've got to just go with it. In this instance, we had a good example of the broadcast order helping, because we got to see T.W. Barker beforehand in Dude, Where's My Eggman? And so we were at least familiar with the character, and we knew that the character was, shady, but obviously Sonic and crew didn't because they hadn't met him yet. But we as the audience were familiar with him.
If you have been watching every episode so far.
Which I'm sure you were, because you're being loyal.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Unless you're a Nintendo fanboy, in which case...
God, yeah. Totally. In which case you discussed us 10 years ago.
You still disgust me.
I'm just going to go cover up my amiibo collection real quick over here.
Yeah.
You can only have the Sonic amiibo. Anything else, you're banned.
I mean,
how many amiibo do you have, Tanner?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow,
10,
that's a
11,
lot of
12,
Sonic
13, 14,
amiibo.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 thus far.
Yeah.
With,
Which ones are you missing?
3 more ordered. I'm only missing Rosalina. That's it. Because Mario to Plumber stole all them.
Yeah. Totes.
Right.
You heard about that, right? How one guy ordered like 500 Rosalina amiibos because he hates Rosalina, so nobody can have her.
Well,
Stupid.
You've totally showed Nintendo about that with you buying and giving them all your money. Wow, you taught them a lesson. Wow, I hope they don't do anything else, like, make some more. Fantastic. Anyway, so, Donnie, what did you think of that episode?
it was an interesting episode. I mean, it wasn't as good as Cowbot, but it was still, for what it was, a nice little episode. I got some laughs out of it, and that's what it needed to do, so...
I feel like my second watch of the episode was a lot better than the first. The first one, I didn't much care for it. Again, like I said, I really hate circuses. But the second watch, it was better. Now that I knew what I was in for.
Oh, great. But Jamie, apart from the circus aspect of it, it was a solid episode for you?
It was one of the much better ones, yes. It's a good episode, like I said. It's a bit too much, not too much going on, I think just rushed through. But, it's a kids show and it's 11 minutes long. What do you expect, So no, I was quite pleased with it. It's a lot better than some of the earlier episodes.
Yep.
Easily.
Which is strange in a way, because this in terms of order, Alan Denton was actually saying on Twitter that this episode was actually the first one that he and Greg Han worked on the series.
Well then.
So into
First job.
Yeah. So.
Mild round of applause.
Well, we need a golf clap for the poor guys. No, it's just interesting that it was the first one that they were really involved with the characters, and it was of that good quality, which is nice to see.
Yep.
Do you ever feel like they just add the Eggman bits in because they are too scared to do an episode where he isn't doing something amusing?
No, there are episodes without Eggman. Eggman is not all.
Which
But he
episodes
does.
is he not in?
There's a couple. There's a couple coming up because just because of the IMDb listings for the characters and the number of episodes they're in, and their Eggman is not the same total as Sonic. So there are surely episodes that he's not in. I mean, you can't have that all the time.
Not to mention that there's still a lot of episodes coming up.
Yeah, we got another 40 episodes, guys. So buckle in. There's going to be a long ride
Oh yeah.
of stuff.
But it may be an amusing one too. So hey. The way the show has been doing, I think it's going to be just fine.
When do we get the musical episode? That's the question.
Season 2.
Season 2.
If Sega can afford a season 2.
I'm sure they can. I mean, we can discuss the Sega situation, which is a sad one.
Yep.
I want to get everyone down.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about a slightly happier thing that happened with a certain other company that Sega was like, no, we will not allow you to be doing this. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Do they license them?
Yes, and they are quite...
Are they electronic?
Quite they are quite indeed.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, I mean, every single one of us here got hit by the e-licenser stuff, who were a company who very kindly went and registered a load of Sonic tracks on pseudo albums.
I've never in my life ever thought there would be a way that you could have a bootleg MP3. Like,
but somebody found a way because YouTube.
but no, because like we released our album available on iTunes and all other digital stores
For charity.
for charity. But we released it via a service, CD Baby, right? Which is a commonly used thing for independent artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we did parodies of songs, as everyone should know. And you have to have licenses to do those songs, right? Now, they check what the license information is correct. They don't actually check you've actually bought the license. There's no validation. So I could go on to a service like that, upload the whole soundtrack to Sonic Unleashed, and just say, "Oh, this is the license. This is who the license belongs to." And they'll be like, "All right then, as long as you got the license, it's fine." And that's it, because it's all automated. And then with CD Baby
Damn you
as well,
robots.
yes, basically. And with CD Baby, which all these services are the same, you can basically claim your music through a service like eLicense, and then every time your songs are used on a YouTube video, they ID match it for you. So that's basically what these people did, and they managed to get away with it. Can you think how much money they made in like the week it was going on?
A very short space of time, targeted everybody.
But
oh
my God.
But Sega,
I was reading a one guy on Twitter. He uses for one of his video intros a 5-second clip from a Sonic song, and it hit every
100.
single one. Yeah, like 100 videos, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. It's like because we didn't get hit that badly compared to some people.
No,
like,
just all up.
yeah.
Yeah, just the popular ones, which is terrible. But no, it's like some people got hit really badly.
Yeah, so I think every single person here in some way had been affected by the e-license claims. Fortunately, though, they did get rid of the claims. They vanished because, well, Sega took care of it. So
Delayed, but yeah, they took care of it.
yeah, it took I think a week, but
Because I'm trying to remember what the two tracks were. Because the main LMC channel wasn't hit, but our second channel, because there's like a LMC2 channel, which actually has the last minute continue name, as opposed to the main one, which still has the old Sonic Rex name, and I can't change it because YouTube. But that got hit, and that got hit with two videos on the morning before Sega announced that they were actually going to go after these guys, and then all of a sudden the claims mysteriously vanished. And we got hit for Azure Blue World, which is on one of it's at the beginning of one of the videos for our Sonic Adventure Let's Play, which actually hasn't seen the light of day on YouTube yet, but all the old recordings sort of there and private for the whole thing, And then there was another one, which was on Turbo's super hard mode playthrough of Sonic Heroes, and that was like Casino Park. No other track from that, from this entire playthrough of the game, just Casino Park.
It's so ridiculous, and I can't believe they got away with it. They do it with other. They don't just. Aren't just doing Sega stuff. If you look into it, these people have done it with loads of other game music as well, which probably will never get resolved. Luckily, Sega actually are a large enough company to actually have a community that actually says that can communicate with to find out.
right.
What I also found quite interesting was, obviously, I think anyone who has more than 5 subscribers is part of a network now, yeah? So I thought it quite interesting that different networks had very different responses to this.
Yes.
Like my network, Collective Digital, they were very much like dispute everything. Just like they were very like, you dispute everything, and if they come back, and because it's their revenue they're losing out on, and they're like, if they argue anything, let us know, and we will come down on them because we think everything you've done is under fair use, and we will argue the crap out of it. And then there's other people that are like, yeah, just let them have it. Like,
and then there's ones that's like, oh yeah, just mute all game volume for your Let's Plays. That's a great idea, and it's like, really?
No.
Like,
Yeah, no, it's not. It's a terrible idea.
And so it's just, So yeah, I found the responses from the networks quite interesting, because some were like, no, this doesn't sound right, because they knew, like, they said like, no, if the Sega music was going to be ID claim, they would do it through the record label that soundtracks are pushed through, which is Wavemaster. So you'd have an ID claim from Wavemaster.
Yeah, if anyone ever gets anything, okay, guys, Wavemaster owns the rights.
Yeah. So, and Wavemaster do ID claims for some of the music that they own, not the Sonic stuff.
Which I think is normally the title tracks.
Yeah. So, but they are a proper record label. They have a presence, like all the record labels do for YouTube, so they can claim stuff if they want. So when you came stuff with e-license, which is like, and I can't believe any network are going to be like, oh no, just don't argue with it and just mute your audio. Okay then. Oh,
Okay.
So for once, Sega actually did something good.
Yeah.
We'll ignore Boom.
It's perhaps the best thing. It's perhaps the best thing that Sega's done this year is they resolved the license.
Though we can't pretend it's not because they were thinking, wait, there's someone making a lot of money that we're not.
To be fair, the cartoon has been good too, so so that was done right.
Yeah, one of the things that came. I mean, it was good of Sega to act, because historically Sega and the world of YouTube copyright has not been a very pleasant place to be. because then they do not have a very good reputation. They've got obviously a number of very prominent YouTubers, video reviewers who refuse to actually have anything to do with their stuff, such as Total Biscuit, because of their previous actions in regard to copyright, and a lot of that has to do with Sega Japan, and in fairness to America, who obviously get lumbered with all of this all the time. And obviously there was the situation with the Shining Force videos and the Shining Force free stuff getting taken down, just so that the newest Shining Force trailer could show up slightly higher in the search rankings. Yay.
But no, I very much... maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think that if what was happening was this e-license person wasn't making ad revenue, but let's say all the videos are being taken down, instead, okay? I don't think Sega would have acted as quickly, because I think they were more bothered that someone was profiting off their stuff. If let's say all our channels are being taken down, I think they would have been a bit more lax in doing anything about it. Because why do they care?
Well, they care because it's from a reputation point of view. They care because even though e-license was claiming this stuff, because of the stuff previously, the blame immediately didn't go to e-license, it went to Sega. And everybody blamed Sega, and there was a lot of stuff that made it seem, and Jamie actually genuinely, guys, deserves credit for this, because he was the one who actually found out about all this album stuff.
I'm a hero, man.
You are a hero of our time. 3 cheers for Jamie. No, we'll do that afterwards. I mean, people thought that even though it's e-license a name, and a few people were like, I'm pretty certain I've heard that before at some point. People thought that it was Sega going through e-license to claim this, so that it wouldn't come up as them, and that they were last going after all the music and everything, but sort of surreptitiously and sneakily. So they needed to go and do something, because somebody was indeed claiming stuff that belongs to them and pretending, but B, it had poked the hornet's nest that was already on the ground and partly split open from previous activities. The internet is not one to forgive or forget lightly. So it was important that they took a stand as they have done, and it's great that they have.
You know what it could have been? I just thought of, because YouTube copyright bots, they don't distinguish from whatever channels that they're going on. So I really wonder if one of Sega's official channels got hit with an e-license thing, and that might have been.
That's probably what it was.
That's probably why they took the action, because it's now it's it's affecting the little YouTubers, whatever. It's oh no, now they're taking our official.
There's a strike on ours. No, we had that.
Our Sonic channel with 12 subscribers has been.
No, I will tell you a story in that back when I was managing the Sega Europe YouTube account, we got copyright claimed by Sega Japan. Sega Japan said that we didn't have the right to pay to have anything up, and we had there was a point where we had 2 strikes on our account, both from Sega Japan, and we had to go through all the email and stuff, just trying to get in contact who actually manages it out in Japan, going, it's seriously, you've kind of put our account on really, really bad standing, and can you please remove these claims, because funnily enough, it's friendly fire going on here, guys. You're not helpful. But nobody knew. Nobody knew who
mysterious man
at Sega Japan. Nobody knew who actually uploaded the video. so we in the end had to counterclaim like everybody else.
Oh my god!
And wait for it to. It didn't even drop. It didn't even drop. We actually had to wait for the thing to go.
But isn't it? It's terrifying how easy it is for someone to claim a large corporation's work as their own.
Absolutely.
And for all these channels, and it's so easy. Why aren't we doing it?
It is the old thing. Actually, Jamie, considering the amount of Sonic Show stuff that does exist and that is re-uploaded, you probably could, frankly. It's like LMC has, with thanks to the person who created this, obviously, we have the Tails doll cartoons. And those are actually ours because they were given to us. So technically, we could go around and claim all those other ones, but obviously we don't. But it is a case just with the YouTube copyright system that it is guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
And there's no actual. You don't actually need to supply any evidence. You've just got to say it was this.
Yeah, right. With the Sonic Show, a lot of our content is actually ID claimed, and weekly I get an email with all the matches I've got, and I let them all through unless they're just verbatim uploading them, in which case I'll claim the ad revenue off them. But if they're like using something of ours or just featuring it for an editorial, then it's fine. But no, it's because it's an automatic system. It doesn't, like you said, it's guilty until proven innocent. But then also, you're guilty, and it doesn't even require the person accusing to prove it's actually theirs in the first place. So yeah, I could go around and say, oh yeah, this Zelda music's mine, and everyone who has Zelda music, you have to prove to me it's not yours, even though I never made it in the first place. It's ridiculous, redonkulous. What a bunch of redonkles.
Yep. It's a flawed system.
And all YouTubers should be very scared.
They're coming for you.
Especially Canadian ones.
Oh no!
Who wear hats and glasses.
It's a good thing I'm not wearing a hat right now. Because who wears hats indoors?
Now you really have to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe.
Tanner Montana does.
Content ID!
So, that was the good news.
So seriously, the good news is that Sega are actually being proactive in the defense of YouTubers, and you can obviously you can think about this, in any way as to ultimate motivation for doing so. But the fact that they have done is a good thing for us all.
Go Sega.
Go Sega. Good guy Sega. Big old
Sega do what Nintendo don't.
Big old thumbs up. And
yeah, that's an understatement right there. Sega does what Nintendo.
Yeah. Sega take away our claims. Nintendo are claiming the crap out of everything. And that is them.
And not only will they claim it all, but they'll say, "Hey, you want to join our program? You still get claimed by everything, but hey."
Well, I did sign up for that Nintendo program, but basically what I did was I went onto it and I put in a bunch of videos, and none of them got through because I wasn't being basically they want to do it for people who do commercials for Nintendo, ones that are 100% positive, and I'm not, even though I'm a Nintendo fanboy, which says something. But so I just deactivated my thing from it, and just don't use it. Just make sure that the volume's low enough in Let's Plays that it doesn't copyright it, and you'll be fine. That's what I'm doing. They're not coming after every single video. They're just doing it if it's they're just doing automatic music claims.
A tip, incidentally, for those guys who do use the Sega stuff at all, or have trailers or what have you, remove the audio from the Sega and Sonic jingles, because those will pop the content ID. The Sega and noises.
Or make your own original content.
You have my express permission to take the sound effects I just did and replace them with
Next trailer, guys.
Next trailer, and I totally won't claim if you do.
And then
To
we
YouTube uploading a video of just that noise.
and then we make a trailer and it just has a bunch of classic Sonic games and say, "Hey, we're doing something." I wonder what that's a reference to.
Crikey, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I went around and claimed all of the revenue from the Werehog trailer? That Werehog ring
no
teaser
one else
that we had.
uploaded it because everyone just watches your one.
No, but it is. It's everywhere. Can you imagine if I did? Because LMC Sonic Rex owns that. We were specifically given that to be. We were like the home of the viral. Very specifically. So I mean, wow. What if we did that?
That was a very subtle viral plan. How did that appear on Sonic Rex?
Well, no, I can tell you if you really want to. I was basically given a clip by Sega Japan and just go, do something with this. So I can tell you what I did is that all I really did was I put it up, and it was on a relatively new channel. Nobody was watching it, and it didn't have any details on it at the time. It didn't have a title or anything. And I sent a message to a fan, and one of the words was highlighted, and that was all I did.
And that's how it spread.
And that's how it spread. So it was reasonably organic spreading, but I think it went to T-Bird and a couple of others.
Like an organic peanut butter.
Like an organic.
That's very
peanut,
nicely.
Like an organic. Yeah, it's. Yeah, Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed videos, ones that won't make you break out into some kind of terrible allergic reaction, unless obviously you're really that bad about the night stages.
So what else happened this week?
Oh, before we get into the really sad, depressing stuff with Sega, Kevin, don't you have a story you were telling me you wanted to tell?
Which story?
The one
forget now.
about
Your
the
segues are crap, Tan.
I know, but I want to stay in
Is there a story you want to mention? Maybe.
I want to stay in the happy area. The one about because we were talking about my Ultimate Sonic Flash video.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about this before the pre-show.
Pre-show.
Yeah, but while we were waiting for everyone else to turn up, we were waiting for. We had a chat about the fantastic Sonic Flash series of Let's Plays that Tanner's doing on.
Which you should all check out. Go
Sonic,
check it out
on the Sonic Show. And if I'm very clever, there's now a video link in the annotations next to this. Yeah, and one of the ones was done was Ultimate Flash Sonic, and they were way back when. In my weekly have to explain the internet to people at Sega meeting that I seem to end up having, I was usually called over at some point, and it was basically something that everybody else knew about, but people didn't understand. So it's like, so to give you an example, there was one day where I was like, people are using Sonic on their websites, and I was like, yes, because they're Sonic fan sites, so they tend to use Sonic. Should we allow that? Yes, because otherwise you won't have any fans. And it was something like that, and it was very late. I mean, when did Flash Sonic come out?
Well, Sonic,
it's been like 10 years, I think.
It's been like 10 years. So this happened in 2010, and I was suddenly called out by a legal department. So we've just heard about this thing called Ultimate Flash Sonic, and I was playing that when it was when I was at uni, so way before anything else, and I was like, yes. It's terrible. We need to stamp this out. And I'm like, dude, it's been it's been around for at least 5 years. It's everywhere, and it's like, and I turned around to me, you do realise it's probably the most popular Sonic game ever. And they sort of looked at me like, what? It's probably the most popular Sonic game ever. Pretty much everyone's played it. anywhere ever who has an internet connection and the ability to use Flash. And it's like, oh, but we need to take it down. But we must take it down and protect us. It's like, it's what has been around the world free for 5 years. You are not going to succeed at this. But we must. But no, just leave it. Look, it's a very good. People love the game. Okay, people love the game. It's a great advertisement for the stuff for the Game Boy Advance, which then feeds into like the Rush series that you've got now on the DS. Just leave it alone. It's a great advertisement. You know, if they ever needed to do something about it, they could, in terms of, you know, doing something, because obviously it's kind of a major thing. I mean, it kind of ripped all of Advance 2. I think it's Advance 2 that is pretty much.
Well, it's not all. It's literally 2 zones. Like, it's not even like.
Well, I mean, in terms of assets and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And battle.
It was and on battle as well for Shadow and stuff, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, it was such a good advertisement for the actual brand online, because it's like, hey, there's this like overly positive game experience. I mean, it's not like any of the other ones that you get on the iOS clones that we've seen down the years with, you know, Speedy McHedgehog,
Winter Run,
Oh god, that, which were just so utterly ridiculous rip-offs that people were charging money for, and obviously Ultimate Flash Sonic, with the exception of, you know, advertisement revenue from people who are, you know, hosting the Flash file. Yeah, wasn't that big a deal, but it was just so funny just to having to explain these people, like how these people who've been like the brand and legal, like how long Ultimate Flash Sonic had been around, because they honestly had come across it like the other day and thought this was completely brand new, and what are we going to do? And actually, ironically, that started the first real serious look at fan games.
If I recall correctly, I think I was playing it very early on. Like, I think it was like 2008 or something like that. I was playing Ultimate Flash Sonic.
I mean, Sega have always been aware of that fan games exist, and they have been quite happy to sort of let that sit in a grey area where sort of a don't ask, don't tell policy. You know, I think that changed a bit when you had the few things in a row with people saying the fan games look better. And it was like the first step along that path of Sega really getting concerned. That's like, you know, when you find out that there's this fan game that uses assets, and is, you know, just ridiculously popular, and is like the most popular Flash. I think it was like the most popular Flash game just like on the web completely for a very long time.
Actually, I correct myself. I think it was 2000. I just now did the math of when I recall playing it. And it was 2007 when I played it, not 2008. So I actually played Ultimate Flash Sonic. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's been around for yonks and yonks and yonks. But then, so you had that, and then you had the Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You had the Mushroom Hill with the HD that was just actually a video sort of rotoscoped HD thing over the top of the actual game that people went mad for, and then was like, oh, Sega. And then you had the Sonic 4 stuff sort of after that, and then the Sonic Fan remix stuff, and then then Sega got obviously a bit concerned then, but so it was kind of like the first step though, was just Ultimate Flash Sonic, and just realizing that people who are making fan things are being very, very popular, and is this right? But it was just more funny just to see everyone's reaction to sort of having to explain, you know, this you know, it's been around a while, it's kind of a big thing.
Okay, so Kevin, I have one final question before we move on.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to explain, like, the weird perverted part of the fan base?
Oh god, yeah.
Oh. Oh, that'd be
Was
a,
it a
No.
side
that'd
check?
be
Yeah,
that'd be a good
if you-
story.
I had to at various points in time. There was a meeting. There was a meeting at one point in time specifically devoted to what people are drawing. And you can just imagine me with just like my hand is completely over my face going, oh please,
Oh
no,
my God.
no. It's like for those of you in the UK or who watch Top Gear and when they have the news and Clarkson goes, I was on the internet the other day and I found this. And it was exactly that. It was like, I found this. It was like, no, please. And this, yes, I know. I was like, it was like, points out, like, which character is this? I don't want to look. I just don't want to see. Make it stop. It's like, it's Princess Sally, and I don't know. No. Yes, I know it's moving. No, stop. But yeah, that had to be explained. I thankfully forget the name of the group that did it, but there was a series of like quite well drawn comics relating to it. And it was like Sonic XXX. Ones.
Oh, that's Pal Comics.
Pal Comics. You
Don't
reminded
ask
me,
how I
son of a
know
bitch.
that. Don't ask me how I know that.
But I was like, I had to explain, like, they looked at me like, why do they do this?
We're still asking that even today.
That was pretty much my answer. It was like, I don't know. Nobody knows, but they do.
Well, I think we know the reason, but we just don't want to openly say it out loud. It's sort of like, Voldemort. You don't want to say it because you might get a curse placed on you.
Yeah, but I had to explain the PAL comics at one point in time. But there was very specific.
Amazing.
They had very specific questions. Like, it's like they're quite happy to let it go, actually, because it was. I mean, like
Free advertisement?
No, because it was it's a bit of creative license, and and I did kind of say that it's like ultimately everything's kind of together. If you accept this, you have to accept this. Whether you like it or not, you have to, because the way it all works. I mean, the way it all works is if you say, "Oh, you can't have that," if you say that you can't have Sonic's image, then you do have to then just like come down full force for like the entirety of it. So you do have to go. It's like, well, if you can't have that, then you also can't have this, and this, which are linked off of it. So you would then have no fan sites or anything, and you can't go against people doing fan art. I mean, that's ludicrous. To be honest, and to be clear, they never ever did. But it was just funny that I was just like presented with pages that sometimes were printed out. Which then begged the question of, okay, which printer did you guys use to print this off? But it was just funny. I'm trying to get my work, and suddenly there's this like, very occasionally somebody from Legal would come up to me with this hentai fan comic and just go, so could you just like note down which character's which? And it's just like, There's it's the same thing, but all the time when anyone said to me, well, you've never seen that stuff, and it's like, I've never said no, because I have, because of the stuff that you've been presented in front of me. But it's like, who's this character? Who's this character? It's like, I don't know. Just like somebody, just the occasional question, just so why is that? And like, oh God, no, make it end.
That's pretty much the Sonic fan base in a nutshell. Let's see, we have, why is this a thing? Why is that a thing? Who made that?
Why is that a thing? I suspect that somebody's going to do a reaction video now to that story somewhere. There'll be like a 5-minute video discussed on other video. But no, I mean, but Sega, I mean, have always been very supportive of fan creativity. I mean, both America and US America and the US, America and European branches have always had, a wall of creativity and letters and pictures that have been sent and stuff that the various teams have found online that were obviously slightly more tasteful than the Pal comics. That's were great. Anytime that there was some sort of like a fan game or something, it went round. People saw it. And a lot of the time they appreciated the creativity that went into it, sort of videos and stuff. Sonic Show videos went round the office with no prompting from me.
And
then meanwhile I'm just sitting over here, the ambassador of a certain other fan site, and
they knew well about Sonic Shorts.
Oh, okay then.
When the first bout of Sonic Shorts went round, they knew well about that. Because it went round, people were watching, and you had top people like Dave Corliss and that had seen it, and you're not telling me that somebody at Sega Japan hadn't seen it and Sonic Team themselves hadn't seen it. But everyone. So when when Sonic Shorts 2 came out, the office actually stopped.
Did it really?
Yes. Pretty much. Well, Europe did anyway. But pretty much everybody likes that. So somebody said, "Have you seen it? They've done a sequel." And I was at the time I was like, "What?" And it was almost like it avoided me, the conversation. And I was like, and then there was various groups of people crowded around watching. And it was funny because quite a lot of those people, just because of their background, didn't know half these gags and stuff like that, and didn't understand everything. But there were people who had some fan background, but they were all clamoring around and watching stuff. So, that often happens. But then again, that goes hand in hand with people actually being really interested when the Sonic community goes out and does something super creative.
Yeah.
That Sega does have an interest in. And that's so to say that doesn't just come from the community managers, the guys who you talk to on Twitter and Facebook and you see out and about and the shows doing demonstrations who are normally like the QA guys, who are obviously mostly just all fans themselves. It's not just those guys; it's also the people, the general people in brand and marketing and stuff like that. There was a general interest if fans have done something big or creative that's made an impact online. Of course, I can't talk about what it is now with the situation because it's a very different landscape now at Sega to those days when I was there job. But they don't ignore in any way.
No, they just actually care, unlike certain other companies who might have a problem with it or copyright,
Yeah.
I can only imagine how they reacted to Seaside Denied. I'm sure they reacted to it similar to us.
SOS 11, I was at the back when it came on not SOS 11, SOS
12. We premiered it at Summer Sonic 2012.
Yeah, it would have been... No, so it would have been actually SOS 13.
No, 2013 was Metropolis Mayhem.
Yeah, but it was SOS 13 when Seaside Hill came on the music.
Right, and then everyone started singing it.
And everyone started singing it. And it was also when they were singing it when June did his first bit. When June did his first bit, it was just his the pre stuff that he did, and I had to explain to the person in charge of marketing, because she couldn't understand why people were singing, because she was pretty certain she knew it, and she pretty certain she knew it didn't have words, or rather the words that she was hearing obviously didn't come from June and Johnny. And I had to explain that it's from from the Sonic Short guys. They did a song and they did like lyrics to it. They did an animation. It's like, oh wow, it's really popular. It's like, yeah.
So in tune.
Yeah. The amusing thing was when the guy who directed and wrote the lyrics for Seaside Denied, Recorder Dude. The music thing was seeing his reaction to it. Because like at the same time, this was like I was doing the commentary for Summer Sonic 2013. I was seeing Sonic Paradox's reactions in the Skype chat we have for ourselves to discuss, behind the scenes matters and all that. And we were talking about they were talking about the crowd singing "Seaside Denied," and they were just flabbergasted at it. They couldn't believe that.
Right, let's go back to Sonic Boom. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that was a thing.
I remember that was a thing. So next week is episode 13, which, unless things are changed, is Unlucky Knuckles.
Yeah, I don't think they haven't messed with the schedule in a while, so.
well, don't say it too loudly. They might realise, and then they will.
Well, let me find out. I can look up the listings.
Oh god. Anyway, no, so it should be the same. In which case, Knuckles tries to run out his bad luck.
Oh, this is amusing. Unlucky Knuckles airs on Valentine's Day.
One day after Friday the 13th. Coincidence?
Episode 13 is on the day after Friday the 13th.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
I didn't. Oh.
If it
okay.
also includes a Love B story, then it wins the bingo, I think, for the episode. For all celebratory things.
Wow.
Indeed. But yeah, so we've got that next week. As we lose somebody, who was it? Who have we lost? We've lost.
That was me.
We lost to Tanner briefly.
I'm back.
Dun, dun, dun.
We lost Beta Tanner.
I dropped maple syrup all over my computer keyboard.
Oh god.
Oh god, it's everywhere.
Boy,
Are
I
you
wonder
just
where
one big stereotype?
Yeah, I was about to say. I wonder where Tanner's from.
It's that world famous Madagascan maple syrup he's got there. Okay, so I guess we've pretty much come to the end now, guys, because it's been a huge post show.
Yes.
Yes, it has been.
Wow, I'd hate to be the
Yes.
guy who has to mess about with that. He's screwed, whoever he is.
Poor sod.
Poor sod. He's going to end up doing it on Monday or something, probably. Oh god. I hope that's not a special day for him. That's going to ruin that. Right. Okay, so we'll be back next week with more stuff and less chat and general stuff, because hopefully there won't be anything crazy like, Sega closing down stuff, and won't be any weird bastards doing claiming Sega stuff as their own. And we'll just be back, and it'll be a relatively normal show. It'll be shorter, and everything will be coming up roses.
Yay, roses.
Everything will be
Amy
coming
roses.
up Amy roses.
Ooh.
I like how Kevin and I made the same exact joke.
Yeah. I'm just worried now Jamie's going to take it one step further. Jamie, don't before you do.
I must admit, all I can see in my head right now is the Afro Circus song, but with the image of Amy Rose in her afro hair from the episode. So.
Afro Circus.
If
Da,
you-
da, da, little Afro Amy. Da, da, da.
Well, if you all do that together, then we can play it out, and there'll be a nice image of Amy just doing the juggling that we'll have on the video at this time. So, on the count of 3, 1.
I'm not. I hate circuses. You guys do it.
Tanner, get involved or fuck off.
But do you like afros, Tanner?
Okay, fair enough. My love of afros does
There we go.
extend a lot more than my love of circuses.
Dun, 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 Afro.
Donnie, you didn't wait for the countdown.
What countdown?
Donnie fails again. 1, 2, 3.
Afro circus.
Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro polka dot, Afro circus. Jamie,
Come on,
Donnie,
Donnie, you're not
frickin'
doing
singing.
Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Amy.
Have we never learned that you can't sing in sync on Skype?
Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't think.